Over 50 Canadian members of Parliament have signed a joint statement condemning the Chinese Communist Party's escalating repression of Falun Gong practitioners, a Buddhist meditation school both inside China and abroad. Here's the story.
This year marks the 26th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party's campaign to suppress Falun Gong. In a new show of support, 53 Canadian members of Parliament signed a joint declaration denouncing the regime's persecution, including its expanding efforts overseas.
Canada must counter this interference and stand up for freedom, faith, and democracy at home and abroad.
There is a foreign agent registry now in Canada, and so the government needs to actually stop these foreign actors from the Beijing Communist Party who are operating on Canadian soil and uttering these threats against peaceful performances that are taking place here in Canada. So we call on that.
Canada's Royal Canadian Mounted Police and local police are investigating bomb threats targeting Shenyun performances in several cities. Some of the threats were traced to sources linked to China.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police are conducting criminal investigations into the threats, calling them criminal acts. They're also working with police agencies in other countries to investigate and monitor the Chinese regime's activities. We're also calling on the government to take stronger action to address this blatant transnational repression.
Globally, concerns are mounting over the CCP's transnational repression. More individuals, organizations, and governments are calling for an end to the regime's human rights abuses. At the 2025 G7 summit, leaders issued a joint statement condemning transnational repression and pledged to work together to counter it. NTD News, Canada.
Falun Gong, also known as Falun Dafa, is a peaceful meditation practice based on the principles of truthfulness, compassion, and forbearance. The Chinese regime began persecuting the group in 1999. Canada has renewed funding for a scholar exchange program with China. To join the program, Chinese applicants must first check a political box, loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party. In a previous interview with the Epoch Times, human rights lawyer David Matas said that while not everyone coming from China is involved in malign activities, those who must meet ideological requirements to qualify could be pressured to act as spies. Under the exchange, Canada sponsors Chinese scholars to conduct research at Canadian universities for up to a year. In return, Beijing funds Canadian scholars to study in China. The scholarships are administered by China's Scholarship Council, or CSC. The state-run agency also oversees similar exchange programs here in the U.S. A 2020 study found that about 18% of Chinese students studying in the U.S. receive funding from the CSC.